Hi guys, my name is Moyo and today I'll be showing you how to cut and sew your own simple kimono cover up. If this video ends up being helpful, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on Instagram to see my other creations and how I style my outfit. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys. I measured out 2 yards and 11 inches of Ankara and I folded my 2 selvage hem together and then I folded again into 2, so that makes my fold to be into 4. The length I have right now is 41.5. So after I folded my Ankara, the wideness is 23 and that is exactly what I'll be using. So this is how wide my kimono will be. If you want to get the actual measurement that you want, just place your tape on the center of your back. Then you measure it to the sleeve length that you want. So that's how you are going to get the wideness of your kimono sleeve, because it's a cut together kind of sleeve. I will come to the selvage hem and I will take 12 inches. So that's how wide my sleeve is going to be, and I will extend that 12 inches. Next, I will take my widest measurement on my body, that is my hip, and I will divide that by 4. That will give me 10. So I marked 10, and then you can now either add 4 or 5 inches to your measurements, and then you are going to draw a straight line. Initially, I added extra 4 inches to the body, but later I changed my mind and I made it 5. So that's why you're seeing double lines. I will ignore the line inside, and now I'm going to connect the body of my kimono to the sleeve, and then I'll make a curve. So this curve is my armpit area, and I will cut that out. To cut my neckline, I'll mark 3 inches for my center fold, and I'll take my shoulder to waist, which is 15.5, and then I'll mark that point and I'll connect the 3-inch mark to the 15.5 mark. Now look at the way I'm cutting. So first I'm going to slice the neckline to the 3-inch point, then I'm going to cut on the chest area, and then I will slash the midpoint. Now my kimono looks like this. And the next thing we want to do is to cut the bands for our neckline. I cut out 2 pieces of 5-inch wide band. Make sure the length of your band is long enough to go from the center point of your kimono neck to the hemline, and also make sure that you have extra allowance. Then also I ironed my interfacing. I used paper gum and then I folded my band into 2. Now you want to open up your bands and sew both of them to make a very long piece. Now you grab your kimono and fold the hemline together and notch the points where you'll be folding as your hemline later on. Mine is 2.5 inches. So guys, please notch your center back as well, it is important. Remember that point where we sewed my 2 bands together earlier? I'm going to match that point with the notch on my center back, and I'll pin my straight piece to the neckline. And now let's go to the machine to sew. Now I'm going to start sewing from the midpoint, and I'll just keep sewing gently, just so straight till you're almost at the end of the notch. If you're paying attention to how I'm sewing, so you notice that I kind of gauged where I notched, and I'm going to cut my band below that point a little bit. And then now I'm not going to turn my band to the other side, and I will sew. I'll make sure that by the time I sew, my sewing is going to make the band to land on that notched area. No, this one is not compulsory, but I'm just teaching you guys so that you can know how to make your kimono look very, very neat. Okay, so you turn that point and then you will sew, then you will turn it to the right side. So by the time you turn it to the right side, your band is going to look very neat. So when you are done doing that, you're now going to place it on the notch itself, and then you're going to turn your hemline up as if you want to hem it. Then you fold the edge of the hem again, so that by the time you now turn everything is now going to look very smooth and clean. Now we're done sewing, now we're just going to do the same thing that we did for this side. We're going to repeat it on the other side as well. Now we're going to sew our sleeves, and sewing your sleeve very simple. Just match the two edges of your sleeves together, and you just sew with like 1/2 inch or 1 inch or whatever you want to use to sew it. So when you're done sewing, one thing you always want to do is to give it like small slight notches on the armpit area, so that by the time you iron it, it's just going to stay very smooth and nice, so that it's not be folding somehow. So if you've used my method to join your neckband, hemming your kimono will be very easy. As you can see, you already have the outline already, Abby. So what you're just going to do is to start sewing from that point, and then you sew from the first point to the other point. Just make sure that you fold properly and sew. To hem my sleeves, I always like to fold whatever I want to hem inside, and then I'm going to iron. So when I'm done ironing, it will give me that sharp outline, and then I'll just sew round on it. So guys, this is what my kimono is looking like. It's already coming together nicely. So if you don't want to put pockets, you can actually go ahead and wear your kimono like this, but I want to add pockets, so I'm just going to do that now. So for my pockets, I cut out this piece of clothing that is 14 inches long, and I folded 3 inches in. So that 3 inches I folded in is going to be the top of my pocket. So I used my iron to press that down, and I also sewed on that line with my sewing machine. After that, I folded about 1/2 inch round my pockets, and on the points I folded, I used my steam iron to just press it down so that it's going to stay nice and smooth. So the essence of ironing your pockets and folding all the edges inside is so that when you want to place it on your kimono, you will not start struggling, and then your pockets will not be equal. So now that we have done that, our pockets are equal, you just want to place the pocket on your kimono. And when you're doing this, you also want to measure the points that you are going to place it on it. For example, you measure from the hemline of your kimono to where you want it to start. You can also measure from the side. Just make sure that both of them are equal. So that's how it's going to look like, okay, this thing is well done, this thing is professionally made. Before you start sewing on your machine, make sure to pin your pockets to your kimono. That's how you are going to make sure that you get the exact points that you want your kimono to stay. And once we are done with that, we're going to head over to the sewing machine, and we are going to sew round. But obviously, you not sew from where you're going to put your hand inside. You're just going to sew the sides of your pocket and also the bottom of your pocket. I attached my other pocket, and this is the finished look of my kimono. I really like how it turned out. If you like this tutorial, please make sure you try it out, and I would love to see your creations. Make sure to tag me on Instagram when you do. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.